In this video, I want to be talking about risk management, emotional management, as well as fund or equity management in futures trading. I always tell people, one of the fastest way to heaven is futures trading. At the same time, one of the fastest ways to hell is futures trading. By heaven or hell, I'm just being metaphorical. Okay, I'm sure you understand what I mean. I'm sure you do understand what I mean. So by it being one of the fastest way to heaven, it means you have to do it right. Your risk management has to be top notch. Your emotional management has to be top notch. Your fund management has to be excellent. Your strategy has to be awesome. And vice versa when it comes to being the fastest way to hell. Okay, so when you neglect all this that I've mentioned, wow, it will be catastrophic. Okay, so now a lot of people, I think some months back, maybe like 6 months back or 4 or 5 months back, somebody told me he made $5,000 in one day. And 3 days later, the person was not begging me to teach him my futures trading strategies. So I said, what happened? What happened? He said he lost the $5,000 the next day. Imagine making $5,000 in a day and losing it the next day. Wow. Wow. How would you feel? Painful, right? Of course. That is the effect of poor risk management. Like, no, I posted in our group, I said, in our Telegram group, I said, the market is filled and full of manipulators. You cannot control it. You cannot. Your own is to come in, take your own share of the cake and get out. Don't be too greedy, because when you make $5,000 in a day, the devil in your village will be telling you, wow, you're able to make $5,000 in a day. It means you can make $20,000 in the next day. Yes, that's what is the greedy devil in you will be telling you. So that greedy devil will be pushing you. Put in that $5,000 again. Put it in. In fact, if you have more, add it, top it, so that you can make $20,000 in a day. I imagine making $20,000 in a day. That is awesome, right? But don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have sacrificed. Whatever it is I'm sharing with you, it's a product of my own experience and sacrifice. Okay? I remember, though the story I just gave you is not my personal story, but I have also lost $5,000 in a day. Yes, in a day. All right? And what happened was that I was testing out a particular strategy. And I was testing out with just a little dollars, $100, $50. I was winning. So I said, okay, if this my strategy is giving me good win rate, let me try with $5,000. I just put in $5,000. I put in $5,000. I was already making $1,200. Are you getting it? That is over sorry, over 20% already within, let's say, 3 hours. So imagine you making over $1,200 already and you still lost everything. That was because of poor risk management, poor profit maximization strategy. I learned all this the hard way, and I wouldn't want you to do the same mistakes I make. I wouldn't want that to happen. That is what they call the law of double jeopardy. So if I make the same mistakes, and I'm your coach, and I don't help you to correct that mistake so that you won't also make that mistake, it means it's a big question mark. It's not correct. Okay? So if I have a very good risk management technique, good, I traded with $5,000. Okay, I have the money, no problems, and I've already made up to 20%. I can just say, okay, wow, let me just lock my profit at maybe even 15%, which means I'll be making close to $750 in just a few hours. Okay, but I didn't do that. At the same time, I didn't use stop loss. I didn't use stop loss. Okay, I think I need to add it. I didn't use stop loss. Okay. So I have to add this now. All right. So I didn't use stop loss. Before you know, the $1,200 I made went down to $800. I said it will still pick up. It will pick up. It will pick up. Instead of me to jackpot with the $800, I didn't. I said it will pick up. It will pick up. Before you know, $600. I said, what is happening? Should I just close this trade? Before you know, $400. I said no. I'll leave this thing. It will go up. It will go up. It will go up. I was saying it will go up as if it's my father that is controlling the market, or if I have power to control the market, but I do not have any power. You do not have any power to control the market. Okay? You don't. We don't. We are just small players. They are big players who control the market. Before you know, $300. I said, wow, boy, something will happen. Before you know, minus $100, minus $200. I said, okay, let me just be patient. My dear, before you know, minus $1,000. I said, Kat, if I close this trade now, it means I have lost $1,000. So how can I lose a whole $1,000 now? I'm not going to close this trade. It will reverse back. My dear, before you know, minus $3,000. I said, Kai, how can I lose $3,000? That is 1.something million in Nigeria. I can't lose this money now. Look at this one where $3,000. I'll just use it to just dash my father or my mother. They'll say, wow, thank you for giving us 1.something million. And I'm losing it. I'm not going to close it this way. I'll still be in this trade. Let me see what will happen. Before you know, minus $4,000, minus $4,500. I was holding my phone on my hands. I was just holding it till it got to minus 0. My eyes cleared. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't feel bad or whatever. Okay, I still feel cool. All right. I didn't tell anyone, but losing $500 in 24 hours, it's crazy. I've been there. I'm telling you this so that when you lose $1 or $2, you shouldn't be killing yourself. Okay? You shouldn't be. I've been there. I've lost $5,000. I've lost $10,000. And you know what? I don't shake because I know I can make $1 million from futures trading. And my goal this year is to make $5 million. And that is why I'm carrying you guys along to also help you guys. Okay? So the fact that I lost money, I also know that I can also win enough money from this same business, this same trade. Okay? But without risk management, you are gambling. So I'm going to start with with margins so that you understand what margins are. The cross margin and the isolated margin. I think I gave a brief explanation of what cross and isolated margins are in the last video about what is it about? Okay, I think either introduction to futures trading. All right, I said, let me go open my Binance. Okay, if you can see where my cursor is, right, where I just click cross, you can see cross there, right? This thing came up. So we have cross and isolated margin. Okay, so this cross margin simply means if you have, like the example I gave, all right, $10 and you enter a trade with $1, the remaining $9 will protect that $1. Okay, that is cross margin. It is very risky. It is also very good. Okay, because in this case, at least it's like one man being protected by 9 men. Okay, which means there'll be more security. But at the same time, if the external power now supersedes the power of that one man, supersede the power of the one of the first guard, second guard, third guard, fourth guard, fifth guard, sixth guard, seventh guard, eighth guard, ninth guard, it means automatically that man is dead. It means that $10 is gone. It is gone. Hope you understand, okay? The second one is isolated margin. This simply means whatever it is you are trading with. Let's assume you have $10. You say, okay, let me trade with, let me buy Bitcoin, or let me long or short Bitcoin with $1. Okay, even if you don't use stop loss, and that trade goes against you, that trade didn't go in your favor, it means that you will only lose $1. You will still have $9 to try again and possibly recover your $1. Hope you are seeing it, right? I use both cross and isolated, depending on my signals, depending on the strategy I'm using, depending on what I'm seeing in the market. Okay? Sometimes I think like 4 or 5 days back, I entered a trade, all right, I think with $200 and something. I used cross, and the trade went against minus $500. Okay? So that particular trade, I was losing $1,000. But because I was using cross, the trade didn't close. Okay? The trade still recovered. It still recovered. Are you getting it? I still made profit from it. That is one advantage of using cross. And when you are using cross, sometimes, most often, you won't even use stop loss. You won't use stop loss. For me, I don't use stop loss when I'm using cross margin, which is also risky. Okay? But for isolated, it is important to use stop loss. It is important. And it's easier to use stop loss in isolated margin. So I hope you understand the margins, right? The cross and isolated. So we use both in our strategy. Okay? We also have leverage. We have 1 to 25 leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is that thing that helps you to achieve something better. For example, if 2 persons are speaking in a big hall, one of them is speaking just without using any form of microphone, and the other person is using microphone, who do you think will be more audible? The person using microphone. Why? The person is leveraging on the microphone. Okay, so leverage has to do with you taking advantage of something. All right? So in futures trading, you take advantage of what we call leverage to make more money. To make more money. At the same time, to lose more money. Some people don't like hearing the word lose money. But it happens, okay? It happens. It's part of the game. You can never lose, you can never win 100%. You can never. It is hard. It is hard. It is difficult. Though for some days now, I've not lost any trade because I use cross margin. When they are against me, I just allow it to ride. They can recover later, okay? But at the same time, I have to ensure I use equity management system for that to happen. Okay, we'll talk about that. So leverage if you can see my cursor, my mouse, you can see cross, you can now see 20x. When you click this 20x, you will see the leverage from 1 to 25. 1 to 125. The higher your leverage, the higher the money you make. At the same time, the higher your leverage, the higher money you lose when the trade goes against you. Okay? So for those who are starting out, it is advisable to start with lower leverage. It can be 5, it can be 7, it can be 8, it can be 10. All right? It can be, okay, 10. All right? Some people will ask, like, I trade with 100 leverage. When I'm trading Ethereum, I trade with 100, which is very high, right? When I'm trading BTC, I also trade with 125 sometimes, when I'm sure of what I'm doing. Okay? So now let me explain one advantage of leverage. Let's say you are using, let's say you are using 10% and 20% leverage. 20, you can just come here and type it. Let's say we are using 20 leverage, okay? It means that if that, let's say I say, okay, go and long means buy. Go and buy or long Bitcoin. All right? Okay? Let me show you something. Now Bitcoin is here. Okay? It can still get to this place and come down again. All right, so let's say I say, as Bitcoin is here, I say long it or buy it using 20% leverage. What does it tell you? It tells you that when Bitcoin makes just 1% move, 1% movement, all right, whatever it is you are trading with, you make 20%. So you are getting that 20x, right, is 20 times 1% profit. Okay, so if Bitcoin also goes down, all right, if it also goes down by 1%, you are losing. You lose 20% of your capital, of your equity. That is why it is important to use your leverage correctly. That is why I said futures can take you to hell or it can take you to heaven when you do it correctly or wrongly. And they all start from these things, these simple things. Okay? These simple things. So if I give a signal and say, okay, trade with 20% leverage. In fact, let's say I say trade with 20, let's say 5%. Let me say I say, okay, go and trade with 5% leverage, and you win the trade. Tomorrow again, trade with 5% leverage, you win the trade. Tomorrow, trade with 5% leverage. The greedy person inside of you, because every man, every woman has that greedy personality. So it depends on how you control that greed. So the greedy man or woman or lady inside of you will be telling you, wow, Mr. World signals are amazing. For the past 1 week, we've been winning. Today, as he said, let me use 5 leverage. I'm going to use 50 leverage. The greedy man is telling you, this is because if I use 50 leverage, let's say we even make 10% of this, so it means I'm going to make 50 times starting. Wow, oh boy, see money. Oh. Before you know, you go and use 50 leverage. And unfortunately for you, that maybe the trade didn't enter. What will happen? You will lose 50%. In fact, you might even lose, depends on how your stop loss. So you will also lose very, very well. Very well. Okay? That is why it is important to always emphasize follow instructions. If you don't, all the losses I have made in futures trading, it was because I neglected my personal instructions and principles. I will also give you my trading principles so it can help you. Anytime I ignore them, it doesn't always go well. I have noticed that. And I don't know why sometimes I will ignore them. Maybe it's the greediness inside of me. I'm trying to control that actually. Okay? So you've understood leverage, right? And margins. So we also have stop loss. Okay? Stop loss. Now, if I say, now I told you this trade, it will reach this place. It will not go down. I told you it will reach it. So let's say I enter, I'm not logged in, so I would have, okay. Let's say I enter this trade here. Let me mark it for you. Let me mark it. Okay, let me use let me use measurement. Let me say I want to, I told you it will reach there. Can you see? You can either pass it or it will go back. So let's say I say enter this trade here. Okay? Alright? And I tell you take profits here or here. Okay? And I say, you can see the downside is red, the upside is green. Okay, this downside is the loss, and the upside is the profit. Okay, So now, let me move this like this. So you can see some, let me show you something. Oh, my battery is low. Okay, let me hurry up. All right, sorry. All right, now, if I say enter this trade, and I say, okay, put your stop loss here, okay, it means if this trade start coming down and it get to this edge, this last line of this red, okay, where you are seeing this little lines, and let me just get it, means you are out of the trade and you will lose 0.14%. Let's say you are using 520x, okay? It means you will lose 20 multiplied by 0.14%, which is less than just a few amount of your money, okay? You get it? So that is why it is important to use stop loss, okay? Now, sometimes you get your prediction correctly, but they'll manipulate the markets, okay? They manipulate the market, and it will just, before you know, it will just dump or pump, whichever one, and it will hit a stop loss. If you still know that, wow, this my prediction is okay, you can still enter your trade back, okay? Because like I always say, they manipulate. All these are manipulations. All these are manipulations. Let me see if I can see more manipulation. There are a lot of manipulations in the market. Okay, let's say now you got to this place, all right? This candlestick told you that this trade want to go up. Are you getting it? Here, where this my mouse is, and you enter your trade. It now went up small. Before you know, just went down. They manipulated it because they know this is a strong zone. Okay, but if you used isolated margin and you put stop loss, definitely you will be out of this trade. And if you believe that this trade is still good, you can still re-enter and still take your profit. But if you use margin, okay, the trade will go against you maybe to minus even 100% before you know to go up again, and you make close to minus close to 50 or more percent. That is why I like using margin. I like using cross, but it is also very risky. Okay, so there's always manipulation, like I always say. This trade it will still go down. So that is it with stop loss. The same thing applies to take profits. All right, take profit. Take profit. Now let's assume I say okay, enter this trade at $41,471.41 for Bitcoin. Take a profit at 41,610 or 614 dollars. Okay, now let's say the trade now start going up. Immediately it hits this target, you'll be out of the trade, and the trade will be closed for you automatically, and you will make your profit. Okay, in this case, if you use 20S, it will be, you can see the profit is 0.33%, which means you make 20 multiplied by 0.33%. Hope you are getting it right. So let's quickly move. I will do a video on how to maximize your profit. So let me quickly go to emotional management and equity management, since my laptop battery is already warning me. Okay, I'll use the other laptop. So emotional management, I'm sure you've understood risk management. Okay, emotional. If you don't have if you have any questions, just feel free to ask under the comment of this video. Okay, emotional management, you need to be able to control your emotions. Control it. If you cannot control it, because some of you, when you enter a trade, before you know, let's say the trade start going down, minus 1%, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 10, your mind will start beating. Don't go and develop high blood pressure, please, okay? You don't have to do that. For now, I'm the one guiding you, okay? So whatever profit I make, you make. Whatever loss I make, you make, okay? So for now, it's as if you are still under my apron spring. if you're in our channel, all right? I mean our Telegram channel. So you need to be able to control your emotions. Like, how and why did I lose $5,000 in 24 hours? It was because I I didn't control my emotions. Okay. All right. So I was not able to control my emotions, and it cost me. Okay. Sometimes you might enter a trade and let's say you lost $5. You become so emotional. You want to recover your trade or the $5 you lost almost immediately. And when you do that without a proper risk management, without a proper analysis, it will result to more losses. So it is important that you are able to control your emotion. Your emotion, it plays a very important role in the life of a successful futures trader, okay? And fund or equity management. Now, let's say you have $100 to start trading or $200, and you get a trade signal. It doesn't mean you should trade with everything, with 100% of your capital. No, don't trade with 100% of your equity. It is amateurish. It is not correct. You are exposing yourself. Don't forget, I have always said that this market is always manipulated. You don't have anything, there's nothing you can do about that. In fact, this world that we are in is filled with a lot of manipulations. In politics, in governance, every sector, they manipulate. And futures trading is not an exception. So you need to be able to control your fund, manage it well. Manage it well, okay? Let's say there's a signal to trade a particular coin. You have $100. If you want to enter a trade, don't enter with more than 10% of your capital, okay? Don't enter with more than 10% of your capital. Again, don't enter with more than 10% of your capital. You can enter with 5%. You can enter with 7%. Okay? If you have $100 and a trade signal comes in, don't be too greedy. You cannot make, or don't be that person who wants to make $1 million in one day or in 1 month with $100. No. Okay? So you need to be able to manage your fund. You need to be able to manage your fund. All right? Let's say you have $200, okay? The standard percentage of entering a trade is 7%. That is the standard. That is the standard. Some people recommend 5, some recommend 10. Okay? But 7 is the standard. And I'm sure by now you ought to know how to control percentage, or how to calculate percentage. Okay? So if we are trading with 7% per trade, okay? If that is what we are trading with, then it means 7% of your $200 or $200 is $14. 7% of $100 is $7. Okay? 7% of $1,000 is $70. 7% of $200 is $140. Okay? 7% of $50 is $3.50. So don't be greedy to go and pack all your money to enter a particular trade. There should always be room for reserve. Okay? This was some of the errors I made in the past, and they cost me. And they still cost people, a lot of people. They still cost a lot of people. Okay? A lot of people. So don't forget this the simple point we have talked about in this video: managing your risk, managing your emotion, managing your fund, your capital. It is better you make 1% than to lose 1%. Okay? It is better you make that. I will do a video on profit maximization. Okay? So it is better you make 0. In fact, it is better you make 1% than to lose 0.1%. Okay? At all costs, learn to manage your funds. Learn to manage your funds. Per trade, go with 5%, go with 7%, go with 10%. When you now develop trust in the system, you can say, okay, let me even increase it to 15%, but not always, or 20%, not always. Sometimes I enter trade with 25% of my equity, okay? But not always. When I'm very sure of the trade, I'll just enter with 25%. Let's assume I enter with $1,000 and I make just 20%. That is $200 for me. Okay? The major thing there is for you to be consistent. If you are consistent with what you are doing and you are consistently making 5% every day, in a month, that is 150%. When you make 10% in daily, every day, that is 300% in a month. I am not sure any business can give you such a profit. There is no business that can give you such a profit. There is no investment scheme or opportunity that can give you such a reward. I'm not sure of any, but you can get it here. At the same time, you can also lose such here. That is why it is important to know all these things. And never forget, losing is part of winning. When you lose a trade, you say, why did I lose this trade? Document it down, so that tomorrow you won't commit the same error again. Okay? So that will be all for this video. I'll be doing a video if I'm not, because I'm a bit exhausted already, but if I gain some energy back tonight, I will do a video on how to maximize your profit. Okay, possibly how to even enter a trade, how to set a stop loss and your take profit, so that with this, the next video will be trading principles, my own personal trading principles. Then we can now proceed with the next thing. So enjoy yourself, have fun, and never forget, I am rooting for you, and I'm very sure you will succeed with this and in this once you follow the principles, the strategies, and the rules.